Hi everybody and welcome back to my backyard once again. Today I'm gonna talk about something a lot of people are always asking me, and that's what's the best Cinewhoop to get right now. And I'm gonna start showing you these three different drones, and they're all from GEPRC actually. We have the GEPRC Cinelog 25, the Synlok Theory and the 35 right here. And you may found weird that I have only GEPRC drones. I tried many different Cinewhoops, but my personal conclusion is that this brand is actually making the best Cinewhoops right now. And I'm gonna tell you why in a second. But before I do all of that, please remember to like, subscribe and comment on this video. Help me grow this channel and let me know what you think about my personal favorites right here. And before I compare the three of them, so you can understand which better suits your needs, I'm gonna talk why I have selected only GEPRC drones, because it may sound endorsed or sponsored. It's actually not the case. The many drones have not selected today, like the Pavo Theory, the iFlight. They were given me for free. These ones I paid for them. I received a little bit of reviewers discount, but still I paid for each one of them. And so I'm the least I'm the least sponsored on any of them. But I selected GEPRC drones because they are the ones I ended up putting on my backpack first. So these ones has a lot of hours of flying on it. And even these ones, I mean, this one is very new, but I already put them to good use because I find myself very confident with this drone. I know my footage is gonna look good and they fly good. I mean, I trust these drones. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the other Cinewhoops are bad, because there are amazing flyers out there. I don't know why I have beans on top of my head and they explode. I'm gonna show you. I have this kind of beans and they just, boom, explode out of nowhere. I don't know. But I was talking about GEPRC. In my opinion, fills their drones with all of the features I'm looking in a Cinewhoop, because they have always the best balance. So they have the central Cadex Vista, for, of course, for digital. For analog you have more options probably, but for these ones, this is a block of aluminum. It's very heavy, and having it at the center means that the drone is very well balanced. And I don't like the drones with the Cadex Vista at the back because it's weird. I don't know why. You have more airflow to the propellers. It's just better to have at the center. Another thing I love about GEPRC is they always put one board electronics. The flight controller and the ESCs are in one board, and that saves weight and you don't, and space of course, so you can put the Cadex Vista in the center. A lot of people say it's not reliable. In my opinion, actually in my experience, I've never burnt any ESC in this form factor. Also, landing in grass or gravel and applying throttle, never burnt anything. Maybe I'm lucky, but I mean, I prefer having something that flies better 99% of the time, that it works, rather than having to change only one board the 0.001% time it breaks. I don't know if I make sense, but it's not gonna be less hassle because you have to dismount the drone, and it's not gonna be that much less expensive because the board is gonna be 40 bucks. To change the ESC is gonna be probably 20 bucks. I mean, change the whole board at that point. I don't know, that's my opinion. These beans are gonna kill me. So another thing I love, GEPRC always seems to get the right motors, propellers and tuning out of the box. You just get it, fly, and the drone is probably a 90% good as it can be. Probably you can do an extra 10%, tuning it a little bit better. But I mean, they are amazing out of the box. I never had issues flying them. And last but most important feature, the soft mounting for the cameras. I mean, on these drones, I never ever had jellos. I've been flying this for many months, many hours of flight time. Never had jello. And sometimes I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to change GoPro settings because I have to shoot in different environments. I leave the shutter auto on this drone and no ND filter. If you fly in the sun, it's gonna have jello. Many other drones like the Kopis, the iFlight drone. On this one, never had jello. That's the reason, the main reason I put it on my backpack. It just works amazing, and you take it out of the box and it works. Of course, the other drones you can make modifies for them, but this one out of the box is perfect. That's the reason I recommend GEPRC. And now I'm gonna talk about the differences between the three of them so you can understand which one is the best for you. So let's start from the GEPRC Cinelog 25. And this drone, of course, is not the smallest because it's 2.5 inches, there are 75mm, there are 2 inches, but if you're flying digital, I recommend strongly going at least with a 2.5 inches because you have the extra weight down there and you need to carry it well and fly good, and that's where you develop trust in your drone because it has to respond quickly to something that happens and it has to fly good and reliable, of course. So go with a 2.5 inches if you have to fly indoors around people, and this still flies amazing outdoors. I've used it many times outdoor when I'm in the city. This is my favorite drone to shoot with. It's efficient, it flies good, it's silent. The only caveat is, of course, you have to use a naked GoPro or an Insta360 Go2 or whatever small camera you want to use on this. Maybe even a DJI Action 2 is good on this, but the less weight, the better, of course. It's a small drone, don't overload it. And I'm gonna show you in a moment the raw DVR with the batteries. I'm gonna do it at the end. I'm gonna switch to a different class of drone. And at the moment, this is my most used drone for Cinewhoop shots. One thing I forgot to mention, you may notice that the prop guards are not the original ones. These are from the Olibro Kopis. The original ones I flew so much that they destroyed, basically. And I had these laying around. They work much better than the original ones. So if you have this drone already, drop in the extra $5–10 to get these ones because they work incredible. The drone pushes better, is more efficient, and it's more silent. So very strongly advise. And GEPRC, take inspiration because they made better prop guards than you did. And wow, incredible. Stepping up half an inch, we get the Synlok Theory. Of course, it's a 3-inch drone, and it's a weird middle ground between the Cinelog 25 and the 35. It's supposed to be sub 250 grams. The analog for sure is, and get it, it's amazing. The digital, you need to be very picky about what you put on it because it's gonna be over 250 so easy. I ended up making the naked Cadex Vista so I can put an ND filter on it. It's a weird sacrifice to make, but it's no problem. So if you're running a naked GoPro and you fly indoor and sometimes outdoor or both of them, get this one. If you mainly fly outdoors, this holds the wind a little bit better, but I don't know. There is not a clear advantage between these two of them. Oh my god. I mean, this one holds the wind a little bit better. This is a little bit nimbler in my opinion. There is no flight time difference. I not noticed this much difference. So pick the best you find, the cheaper you find. And also this one came with the Nebula Pro, this one came with the Polar Pro. Probably now they ship it with the Nebula, but be careful which camera digital you get because the Nebula Pro is much better. And that's the reason I fly mostly with this. This one only if there is wind and I'm outside and I fly in a square of a town. I don't want to hurt people. This is my choice. Probably you can carry more than a naked GoPro, like a full GoPro, but it's gonna feel heavy. I don't know, I flew with the POW, it was a 3-inch drone with a full GoPro, and it was even heavier than this one. And it carried it, but it was not an enjoyable experience. You don't want to have a drone that's sagging, that's heavy. I like having a drone that's nimble and I can trust. So for this one, still put a naked Hero on it, or a Insta360 Go2 or whatever naked camera. Even the Action 2 is good on this one probably. And maybe if you run the Action 2, this is the best overall, but you're not gonna be sub 250 grams probably. And lastly, let's talk about the big changas right here. This is the Cinelog 35. It's got very big propellers, 3.5 inches, very nasty motors, 6S. This thing is super powerful. And this, of course, is in a totally different class of drones because it's over 250 grams. And it's got more competitors, like all the squirt-like drones. But in my opinion, this one wins. You get more propeller, less weight, more power. It flies much better. You can do aggro with it. It carries a Hero 10, no problem. The motor never flinch. Really, watch my review because this thing is a powerhouse. It's a little bit heavy and it's not very forgiving if you hit someone in the head, but I mean, I'm impressed with this drone, and whenever I need to carry a big camera, this is my choice. Of course, when I need to carry it safe. It makes a little bit of noise, but all of the drones in this class make noise and it pushes a lot of air. So if you're shooting indoors, I still recommend going with something which is way smaller, lighter, and it pushes less air. But of course, if you want to carry big cameras, you don't care about sub 250 grams, this is an amazing option. And of course, if you want to know more about this drone, check the reviews I made about them. They're very exhaustive. I unbox them, I test them with the GoPro, do everything. So check them out if you want to get one of those. Now the sun has set, it's night, it's cold. I'm gonna wait for tomorrow morning and fly them only DVR without GoPro, so you can see how they fly for real, without stabilization, without anything like that. And you can make an opinion on how they fly basically. See you tomorrow. And boom, it's 3 days later, finally there is a little bit of sun, but it's super windy today. And maybe it's a good thing after all, because it's a good testament to see how good this drone performs outside with wind and in real conditions. So let's fly. And I'm gonna start with the Cinelog 25 using a 650 4S battery. And in my opinion, this is the sweet spot for this drone. You still are sub 250, but you have a nice balance between flight time and agility. Let's go. Oh my god. You can already hear the noise it makes. This is one of the quietest actually. And today is super windy, as you can see, all the tree branches are moving. And this drone doesn't fly bad at all, I have to say. Of course, it's small, it's light, and it gets pushed around by the wind. You can see the shakes. But still, it feels controllable. I don't feel scared to do stuff. And in a normal day without wind, it will just work perfectly. And remember, it has the GoPro on top, which makes it heavier. I'm not showing you the GoPro footage because it's useless for this review in my opinion. You need to see the shakes, you need to see how it flies. You see, now there is no wind. Actually, no. I was making a point. Come on. No, please. Please. Please let me just fly. Ooh. We saved it. We saved it. Turtle mode, thank you so much. I hope the GoPro is still there. I mean, it wasn't a big crash. You saw also another nice feature. It doesn't touch the grass with the props. Now the wind is super strong. I cannot push forward. Going on the other way, look how fast it goes because of the wind. And this drone, of course, is small, is meant to be inside and outside with no wind. Don't fly with this much wind, it's just crazy. And for that it works amazing. I feel very safe flying with this. When there are people around, I can fly outside, enter a room, and not scare the people, and I'm not scared flying around them, which is nice because it doesn't make too much noise. It's not huge. With bigger drones, people flinch and their performance, whatever they're doing, is not the best, you know. This is already on the big scale. I was used to fly with smaller drones, but with digital, in my opinion, this is the way to go. For the maximum versatility, you know, flying outside and inside. And this is the old version with the smaller motors. The new one has bigger motors, so it should have a little bit better time flying in wind and outside. I'm gonna put it in angle. The camera angle is a little bit high to contrast the wind. Usually I keep it a lower, but still you can see how nice it is to fly this. Here there is no wind. You can see the precision you have. I mean, pretty versatile. You can hear, wow, look, it's crazy how much wind there is. Okay, the battery is getting low, it's time to land. We did we did 3 minutes of flight time. The batteries are not super fresh, but outside like this, it's what you can expect. If there is no wind, probably you're gonna go for 3:30, 4 minutes. Inside, if you don't push it. Maybe for 5 minutes you can do it with the GoPro. Without, even more of course, but we use it for the GoPros, don't we? And boom, this is the Synlok Theory. I'm gonna still fly with the 650 mAh 4S battery, because in my opinion, again, this drone can take 850, no problem, but it's gonna be over 250 grams. If you fly analog, no problem, but this for digital is the maximum you can put on it. So I'm gonna put this on it, and we're gonna see if it does better than the Cinelog 25, because with this wind I don't know. And you can already see the screen is in 16:9. Actually it uses all the screen, which is not bad, but I mean I still prefer the Nebula Pro over the Polar. I feel kind of weird flying like this after flying with the Nebula Pro. It's not bad, you can see the qualities there. So it sounds maybe a little bit quieter, which I didn't remember it being quieter, but hey, it's a surprise. I have to say probably it's quieter. Of course 3" over 2.5 inch. This is 3 blade, the other one is 5 blades. It makes quite a difference. It's also more powerful, it needs less throttle to be in the air, and probably it's also more efficient. So if you're flying mainly outside, okay, you still have the power. It shakes a little bit more than the other one, but remember, there is quite a bit of wind. Flies very good, flies very good, this one too. It's kind of like a toothpick with ducts. And a lot of people are asking me this against the Pavo. Go watch the review of the Pavo. The Pavo out of the box didn't fly amazing, this one does. This one is lighter, and lighter is always better in my opinion, because you can carry more useful stuff, like you can carry more camera or more battery. And this one has the versatility to be sub 250 if you want. The Pavo doesn't, the digital one. And it's still good for inside. It's a little bit bigger, so you have to be a little bit more careful, but also the propeller are sticking more out of the bottom rather than the other one. The other one is much safer. But you can see flies very controllable. And no noise, you can only hear the wind. The drone is just light buzz. So if you're looking for the most silent, probably this is one good option. Sounds clean. No, it doesn't. Boom. Just try to get a drone with the Nebula Pro rather than the Polar, in my opinion. Maybe if you fly at night, but still it doesn't matter, because this is a Cinewhoop. And if your Nebula Pro cannot see, then your GoPro is recording garbage. So that's my opinion on it. Even if 16:9 is not feeling bad at all. Yeah, this is a little bit more efficient, because we've been flying for 3 minutes 30 right now, and still I don't get the low battery sign. So yeah, this is a little bit more efficient. But it is to be expected, 3". I didn't remember it being more efficient, but it's a nice surprise. It means I'm gonna use it more outside. The only thing is quite bigger than the 25, so when I'm flying where I'm not supposed to, I like flying with something that reminds a toy and it's the smallest possible, so the 25 still has a big place in my heart. But yeah, this feels amazing. And I'm flying it quite slower. You see, it's snappy, works, just does whatever you want. If you wanna carry a big camera on it, as I told you before, in my opinion this is not the drone to do it. It will carry it, but it will not be this nimble. And when I fly, I wanna have this control over the drone. Something happens, you can quickly snap out, and it's safe, and it has power to do what you want. Don't run super heavy drones. Okay, it's time to land. We are at 5 minutes. Okay, I've been really wrong before. This thing is quite a lot more efficient. Let's land. Boom. 5 minutes. Wow. And we have the GoPro on top. I'm not cheating. Wow. I'm impressed with this drone. I didn't expect it to be this much more efficient than the other ones. But I mean, 3 blades propeller, bigger over 5 blades. They really show. Wow. And finally, let's talk about the big boy right here, the Cinelog 35. And in my opinion, if you need to carry a big camera, this is the Cinewhoop to get, because it's still super compact and low profile, but it packs a punch, and I'm gonna show you in a second. I'm gonna fly it with the 1100 milliamps 6S. Get the 6S. Don't ask me, just get the 6S. You're gonna have so much fun, so much power. And this battery from GEPRC is quite small, but it works perfect with this drone. Super nimble, and you can carry a Hero 9, Hero 10, no problem. I also tried a 1300 milliamps 6S. It's a little bit chunky for this drone, and it's just gonna feel heavy like a bus. This one, super nimble. So let's fly. I'm gonna still start from the chair, even if this one is a little bit scary to do. Whoa. Noise level is high. Sounds a bit like a 5-inch. But you can see the raw power. Doesn't matter if there is wind or not. This thing just rips. I love it. Wow. Look, wow. Okay, I'm getting too ballsy on this one, but this drone not only carries the camera, no problem, but I was telling you, don't get the 30, get the 35 if you need to carry a big camera. Just has no issue carrying it, it just makes a little bit of noise. But all the other ones make noise when you load them up like this. You can still fly indoors, and if you need to carry a big camera, again, this is your choice. But I mean, this against a Squirt, against a Taycan, I don't know, the Veyron, like drones like that, the ducted ones, this one is much better. Also inside, in my opinion, because it's smaller, sucks less air in somewhat, because with the other ones I always had the issue when I go near some piece of cloth, they suck it in. I don't know why. This one is much better. It's just like an open frame with a little bit of protection around it rather than fully ducted drone. I mean, can you do this with a Squirt? I don't think so. Look at this. The wind. You see? Okay, no, you don't see because I just totally crashed.
Wasn't meant to do that. Activated.
It's not gonna...
Activated.
Oh, it did! Wow, I saved 2 drones today. Okay, so don't fly with the wind, first rule. Yesterday I lost a drone. Today I was like, I'm gonna break all of my drones. No. So, still flies very good. I hope I didn't crack my GoPro. What I was trying to show you is you can dive with it and it doesn't wash out. It's just very stable. And also, squirts and stuff like that are much louder. This one, of course, is loud, but it's not loud as those ones. So, and with this battery and this wind, you can expect 3 and 30 minutes of flight time. It's not a lot, but it's a quite small battery for this amount of weight and power. And you can decide, if you fly slow, it's gonna fly for 4 minutes, no problem. But of course, I'm going a little bit fast sometimes and it just discharges very fast. But again, it flies like a toothpick. And that's the beauty of it. Also, one thing, these drones from GEPRC have all a little bit of fragile frame. So if you crash, sometimes they can crack. So get spare parts of frame. It's just, I don't know, $4. It's not very expensive, but it saves you the hassle to not fly for some time. This one I've not cracked it yet, but I feel like if I crash the wrong way, it's gonna crack it because they are super stiff. Probably makes for a better flight characteristics, but when you crash, they snap. Okay, so we probably flew for I don't know, 3 minutes 30, 4 minutes. Let's land. So, wrapping up this review, of course I'm talking about bind and fly drones. If you build one, of course you're gonna put the time and the care into it and make it fly better. But I'm talking about something you buy, you receive, you unbox it, you bind it, and you expect it to fly good out of the box. And at least for Cinewhoops, in my opinion, GEPRC is one of the best brands to do that, because I never had issues with them, I never had to change anything out of the box. They just had a pretty amazing tune, and they always have the best balance with characteristics I wanna see in a Cinewhoop. The soft mounting, the Cadex Vista, the weight, and the electronics. Of course there are lighter drones, there are all kinds of different drones, but for fire and forget, I give it to GEPRC. And of course you can still change stuff to better suit your needs. Like this one, I made the Cadex Vista naked, so it flies better, and of course it's always up to 150 grams, which was important to me. This one I changed the propeller guards with the one from the Kopis, because I discovered they are better, and the original one cracked just like this one, like this. You see? And it seems like a common defect between all GEPRC drones, even this one. The plastic is super stiff and it doesn't flex at all. Probably this is good because it gives stiffness to the frame and it flies better, but in a crash, in a hard crash, they can snap, of course, because they don't flex. This one I crashed quite a bit and still no problem, so you need to have a hard crash, but they seems to be a little bit more fragile than the competition. Get spares, because it's a cheap thing to replace. Just get the spare, because if you don't have a spare, you need your drone sitting on a shelf waiting for replacement, but if you have it, you can change it instantly and just be done. And this is my consideration, but I prefer having something that flies better 99% times it flies, rather than crash better the 1% times you're gonna crash. Also, if it flies better, you crash less. I don't know if I'm making sense. And if you're a beginner and you're scared your drone is gonna break, go with the smallest, lighter one, because it's gonna have less inertia when you crash and less probability of breaking stuff. Get the spares, duct, they are $4-5, it's not expensive, and you're gonna have a nice time. Also, this one was quite forgiving, because I used it a lot, probably my most used drone. I crashed a lot and it broke only once, and I was really trashing it. So, I mean, it's not that bad as I was telling you about. And that's all for today. Remember to like, subscribe and comment on this video. I'm super curious to know what you think about my choice right here. What's your experience? What's your favorite drones actually? Super curious. And if you wanna watch the full reviews about these 3 drones I show you, go check the description. I put the full review out there so you can see what's in the box, how they fly with GoPro, stuff like that. And as always, stay safe and happy flying. Bye!